Correct. And this chart shows that. I put this together for that very reason, to sort of show that.
All right.
Once again, Randy, you're always one chart ahead of me.
I try.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing ability. So Tesla currently, EBITDA over the last 12 months of 11 billion. To get to the 400 is a 36x increase.
Yeah.
The market cap when I did this was just under 1.1 trillion. And to get to 8.5 trillion, it's 8x increase.
Right.
The current market cap to EBITDA is like 99. And for this, they're assuming it would be 21.3. Right. So to your point, this assumes that this PE essentially, so this is not really PE, but
yeah,
we'll just shortcut it as a PE ratio for now. PE would only be 21. Okay. Now, it's interesting how they came up with this, because they mentioned a peer group of Meta, Microsoft, and Alphabet. And interestingly, the last 12 months EBITDA for those three companies is about 400 billion, and the combined market cap is about 8.5 trillion. And the valuation there is about 21, 22.
That's amazing.
Right? Now, I thought they should probably also include Apple, Nvidia, and Amazon. And if you take all six of these combined, you get to EBITDA over the last 12 months of about 764 billion. Okay, so almost twice the goal. And the combined market cap is about 18.7 trillion. And the valuation collectively, the group would be about 24, 25 times earnings.
So still in the ballpark.
Yeah. Now, look at this, though. Here's NVIDIA. It's got about 100 billion in EBITDA over the last 12 months. It's trading in about 4.2 trillion, and it's got a valuation of about 42 times.
Right.
I would suggest that if Tesla has reached this 400 billion, in order to get there, they're ramping robotaxi and they're probably ramping bots.
And
so its valuation is going to be
new things.
Maybe new things. Its valuation is going to be far higher than just 21.
Right.
At least it could be something like what we're seeing with NVIDIA.
Right.
So the market cap could easily be, 17 trillion.
Right.
And if it's 50 instead of 40, then you're looking at about $20 trillion valuation, which is something that Elon's been talking about lately.
Well, and the other side of it is the 400 billion. If we're moving towards 400 billion, the next year it might be 450 billion.
Yeah.
And so you're just and again, the 400 billion might be way too small once the Optimi are out in the wild.
That's right. Now, one of the criticisms about this is share dilution.
Yeah.
As shareholders, we're going to be diluted.
Yeah.
This is terrible. Don't you know that share dilution is a terrible thing?
Well, most of us are criticized for being diluted.
Diluted, yes.
Yeah.
And I think we're diluted regarding dilution. So let me share with you my perspective on that. So over here, we've got the current market cap, 1.15 trillion.
Okay.
Here are the different tranches, okay, up to 8.5 trillion. Here's the growth in the market cap at those different tranches.
Okay.
Okay. And then over here, I'm starting to show them the number of shares that vest for Elon and what essentially the outstanding shares would be.
Okay.
So if you take the outstanding shares today and you add that special reserve of 208 million plus the 60 extra million for employee stock options, okay, we get to, a much higher shares outstanding. And as Elon vests these shares, then the shares outstanding grows.
Right.
So we could be up to 4 billion shares by the time we hit this in 2035, this 12th tranche. Okay. That would imply 17% dilution. We're giving up 17% of the company in combination to Elon's comp plan, plus the special reserve shares, plus the employee stock options. Now, depending on what happens with the Delaware court situation, it may not be quite as bad as this. In the worst case, I think it's like 17% dilution.
Okay.
But look at this, though. If you say at this point that he's met this 12th tranche, the company has met that milestone of 400 billion of EBITDA, and the market cap is at least 8.5 trillion. So in the worst case, the price per share is gone up 6 times.
Right.
Okay. But as we just discussed, it's quite likely that the valuation of the company at 400 billion of EBITDA is not going to be 8.5 trillion. It's going to be something higher.
Right.
Okay. And I'm suggesting, given the growth prospects for robotaxi and the bot, it could easily be 20 trillion at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which would be a 14x
Right.
for investors. But the dilution's still the same.
Right.
So dilution is one thing. And if you have a company that is not growing, dilution's terrible.
Right. Right.
If you have a company that's growing and the dilution is creating the incentive for the employees and the CEO to grow that company aggressively, then it's not such a bad thing to be diluted 17% and get a 14x return.
So I've always believed that if you can put in a nickel and get out 20 cents, it's a good thing. If you every time you put the nickel in, you get out 20 cents. And in this particular case, the tranches don't dilute you until you've already made your money.
That's right. That's a very important point, right? You don't suffer this dilution unless Elon has created the value.
Right.
It's not like you have to take, the hit up front and hope he adds the value. It only gets this if he adds the value.
When I had my companies, the number one check I loved to write was always to the commission salespeople.
Yeah. Because if you wrote that check, then they delivered on their results.
Right.
Yep. Same with this. And I think this is the most shareholder-friendly executive compensation plan I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Again, very similar to the 2018 one.
Sure.
In that regard. But this is at a bigger scale.
And other companies should probably be adopting this. Maybe they can't hit these kind of targets. They can't hope that their guys are going to hit these kind of targets, but they could have targets.
Yeah. As we saw earlier, there's not many CEOs, I think, that would go for this because they just don't have the, probably the capability to do that. But yes, the targets would have to be lower, for sure.
And the compensation would be less.